Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm gonna be reacting to The Summer Hikaru Died, episode 6. But as usual, let's talk about last episode. And that one, I'm not sure, did people not really like it or something? Because, usually I get 400 at least views for each episode. But last one, it didn't even reach 200, so I'm not sure what was up with that. But anyway, so I'm not gonna talk about every scene, just, the ones that I have more thoughts about. So, Hikaru and Yoshiki, they mixed again, and I'm glad that the weirdness, or rather the grossness that Yoshiki felt the first time, and also the incident during episode 3, didn't scare him off from wanting to try it again. As well as Ria's warnings that made him feel even more shame about the whole thing. Once he started seeing Hikaru as his own person, then I think that's what's really making Yoshiki be more open about some things regarding what he is. And yeah, when they start, Yoshiki even says oh, it's not as bad as I remember, or not as bad as the last time we did this. So that's good. It really does seem like it's a matter of practice, really. The more they do it, the more Yoshiki will get used to it, and the less shame he'll feel as well. So I'm hoping that we, a little weird considering, what the allegory is, but yeah, I'm hoping that they keep doing it so they can feel more comfortable with each other, more vulnerable, and just, it opens the door for their relationship to deepen more in regards to their emotional connection. But yeah, Hikaru was being really selfish and just, he was seeing that Yoshiki was getting more and more uncomfortable with it, and didn't stop until he was told. But still, that's good that he did when Yoshiki told him to, but yeah, Yoshiki, I think it's pretty on point when he says are you doing this because it makes you feel good? And well, Hikaru doesn't deny it. So yeah, if they're gonna continue doing this, Hikaru needs to think more about Yoshiki rather than his own desires and wants. It's gotta be, about both of them feeling good instead of one of them and the other, instead of the other just tolerating it. And then what does he say? Yoshiki's you cannot be doing stuff that makes others uncomfortable. And in regards to other people just knowing about what Hikaru is and just being uncomfortable because of that, I think that's wrong. But in regards to specifically the situation and Yoshiki, then I think, yeah, he's right. You know, if they're gonna be in this situationship of sorts, it needs to be more equal. So Hikaru's like, yeah, I hear you. I'm not lying to you. And it's like, oh, well, he needs to learn, right? All of this is very new to both of them. But yeah, like in that situation, it's like, okay, sure. I can believe that Hikaru will take that into account next time, hopefully. But I was just thinking like, well, that's not true. Like in regards to like the whole relationship, like Hikaru is hiding things from Yoshiki, like the old woman that he killed at the end of episode 1, and then the barrier in episode 4. So, you know, if you think like, oh, that's technically not lying, it's just omitting information. No, he's definitely actively lying. So until there's not like a full-on like honesty and transparency between them, there's not gonna be a, you know, true equal relationship, I feel like. And then we see the actual explanation that Ria gave for what she meant by mixing. And then we see Yoshiki looking at the mark that Hikaru left on him, and it is darker, so I'm guessing it's because they mixed again. They're getting more and more, you know, intertwined with one another. We get to see Tanaka again. I totally forgot about the sword. I have no idea how he'd use it, but that just adds to the things that I'm nervous about him making contact with Hikaru. We had Yoshiki playing crane games, and his buddy says something like, you're so talented, your only flaw is the hardcore emo persona, which is like, I do nothing, that's a persona, that's just my poor boy just in the process of grieving. Like, yeah, he was, you know, sort of gloomy already in the flashbacks we've seen, but I don't think it was to this degree. And even then, like, he'd have more than you know, a reason to be like that because of his family and the way that the people in the village treat him and his family. And he said something like, oh, you know, stop flattering me. And it's like, now I'm not so sure that he's being sarcastic because of what we, you know, see later. So, like, he could be sarcastic, like, oh yeah, right. Or he could be like, oh well, people really do, you know, really like me and see good things about me, but only if I could change this one thing about me. But I can't right now. And then he tells both of them about the hair ghost. So Hikaru is like, okay, I'll go help you. And I like that in the background we just see their friend give the crane game plushie to a girl and she likes it. Okay, so yeah, Hikaru basically says, I'll protect you before anything happens to you. And well, he's not able to really keep the promise, but you know, it's hard to say like it was his fault because he was kind of, you know, unconscious there when Yoshiki interfered. And when that thing starts like possessing him, he says that the feeling is like when he doesn't get to finish the thought, but it's visualized that it's similar to how Hikaru was making him feel earlier in the episode, when they were mixing and Yoshiki told him to stop. So some unpleasant implications there. Here, and then we have Yoshiki just, really just some very off-putting representations of what the people at the village make him feel when they're gossiping about him and his family. And like the thing about the bangs appears multiple times, and now that just makes me think, like, sure, like, of course, Yoshiki is, more than in his right to just look however he wants. But I do wonder if he has the bangs that long, because that way he can obscure his vision a little and makes it easier to look away from things and try to pretend that it's not there. The hair could be part of his coping mechanism. And then the thing about his sister as well. Like, I doubt, like, they're talking anything about, yeah, no one, like, they're all critiquing her about, the fact that she's not going to school, but, she's cute, therefore she has value to date my oldest son, or whatever, and, like, yikes, she's, like, even younger than Yoshiki. I don't like what, that implies. And Yoshiki just has to leave hearing all that and try and pretend like he's okay with it. Then we have Yoshiki with a little Hikaru being scolded for being at fault that a crow they were taking care of died. So I was like, what could this be more representative of? So I was like, oh, duh. Usually crows are like symbols of death. So I think outside of the literal here, that this could have been something that happened. It's Yoshiki's, what Yoshiki is feeling in regards to Hikaru in the present. The crow representing the, person or people in the future that he's going to kill. And it's gonna be like, trying to place the blame on each other. And neither of them accepting their part on it. Yoshiki already, we've seen that he doesn't really want to acknowledge the part that he's taking in being, kind of an enabler to Hikaru's wrongdoings. And Hikaru's also full-on killing tendencies. But neither of them want to confront it right now. So it turns into this. So Yoshiki's own guilt. And, both from himself, but also what Hikaru is doing. It, boils over and turns into aggression from being possessed by the hair ghost. Of course, he's like really uh, regretful and just feeling really bad once that thing is over. And even though Hikaru tries to like reassure him that it's okay, Yoshiki really does not take it well what he did. And it could also, like, this could also apply as well to that visual of the crow. He could have been now like, oh, it's my fault. And Yoshiki being like, no, it's my fault. So it's not them blaming each other, but blaming themselves too much. And not being able to really, look at things in a more, I wouldn't say like objective view, because that's impossible, but just being less harsh. And then they talk about like, you really like living in the sticks, huh, Hikaru? And he's like, it's not that bad. I'm sure the city doesn't have what this has. But Yoshiki is like really, very sure that he does not belong here. So I wonder how that difference between them will continue in the future. Because I'm hoping that they both are able to leave this place and live in the city. But I wonder how much in the future that would be. But it does seem like Hikaru would be able to be accustomed to the city. After all, he'd have fun anywhere, He just loves experiencing new things. We do see Yoshiki still beating himself up because he's like, I'm the flame that's attracting all these moths. And it could have attacked Kaoru or my mom, and that would have been on me. So I'm hoping that Hikaru is able to lessen some of that burden that he's feeling. Since, he's really seeing things, trying to see them too simplistically. And I like that this ends with Yoshiki able to basically kind of banter about one of his insecurities, which is about like being tall, like as we saw when that was what he was envisioning, that people keep telling him on, oh, you're so smart, oh, but he can't even carry a conversation, blah blah blah. And one of them was like, how tall are you? We have post credits where it's about Tanaka using a bell like a hunting dog. Sure, we'll see what that's about. We just, like I said, keep we know that the bomb is ticking, but we don't know when it'll explode. So I'm quite concerned about when Tanaka is gonna make his big move. Okay. Episode 6. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Doo-doon. Mm. Oh? Oh, this is very, very relevant to the story. Yep. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. That's very narrow-minded. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting that we're going back to this. But, of course. Even though I think episode 3, it was when Yoshiki was like, yeah, how could I not see it before? This guy is definitely different than Hikaru. It's still just, new life, experiencing everything that there is. But even now, he's still like, wait. But really, though, like fundamentally, what makes him so different than Hikaru? I do like that Yoshiki is still hung up on that. Hmm. また会えるならこの先は一瞬もう一瞬の隙を突然も覚えていこう誰を閉じ合うたび誰歌でさしてまたまとね争うAsako. Is that Achan? I think it is. Okay. What? Hmm? That is true. At least in anime. Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely still bothering Yosuke. That no one else can see the difference between Hikaru and OG Hikaru. But still, he joined the group. Ooh, interesting shot. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Mm, I'm uneasy. Of all people, it had to be one of the old guys that hired Tanaka. Okay. Nothing happened. Oh, a moth? What's happening to it? Ooh. It's dead. Mm. Ooh. Cool camera work? Oh, transitioning into the past. Even the lighting is different. So much brighter. To show also, Yoshiki's feelings in regard to Oji Hikaru. Hmm. Now that was Hikaru's dad hat. Pretty sure. Oh, this is like the second time we've seen Yoshiki's dad. Mm. Yeah, I knew it. Hmm. And it did not occur to me, like, of course, Yoshiki would not know. Oh, this is in the opening! About the Indo's role. Oh, this is sweet. But it kind of feels like the, you know, the silence before the storm. Hmm? Okay. There's gotta be like a big moment with Achan if the title of the episode is named after her. Maki. Wait, huh. Wait, whose backpack is that? That's not Maki's, is it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Achan. Oh, please. Please don't dig too deep into this. No! You're not Yoshiki. If he thinks you're a threat, he might actually try to kill her. Oh, Achan. Right, she does have an ear for supernatural beings. But I just assumed it didn't work with Hikaru for whatever reason. Oh, I'm actually getting a little anxious. No. Why are we giving her this flashback? Surely it's because she doesn't have such a narrow view of supernatural beings. Hopefully she sees them as just, you know, not too different from humans. She's okay with them, right? And it's all because of her grandma. Mm. Mm. Oh. Oh. The creature helped. Wow. Yeah, just like humans. There's all kinds. Hey, let's go! I like this! I hope Hikaru can see that she's not a threat. That she wants to be a friend. Okay, this is good for Ah-chan, you know? Characterization-wise. Oh, Hikaru, please! Give her a chance! Hikaru, no! Explain yourself more! Yeah, do what? Now Yoshiki can't look away. Tokubetsu? Yeah. But can Yoshiki believe it? He doesn't want to be the exception. Or rather, he doesn't see why he's an exception. Yeah. Here we go. Come on, Hikaru, no more lies. Yeah. Oh, that glare. Oh. She's worried about him? Oh, okay, that's what she thinks. Okay, can we talk instead of jumping to murder? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. She's smart. Not with Yoshiki. Oh. I see. Uh, wow. I love this. Mm. Even he can't differentiate sometimes. Oh, that got me emotional. Oh. Really? Okay. Oh, these two boys just keep moving me like I would not have expected. Oh man, oh man. Okay, so oh, where to begin? So the beginning was definitely not subtle. I don't think it was trying to be subtle. But I like that. It makes it a lot easier to understand. You know, Yoshiki reading that little like comic or story. For one, I mean it's pretty similar, but I like that it's not a one-to-one to the situation with Hikaru. Another guy with the same appearance and same memories. I think it's this one. It's what really makes a difference. He doesn't realize that he's different from the dead guy. Whereas Hikaru, he does. He's most certainly aware that he's not the Hikaru that died. But some things, like we see at the end, is like, but is this coming from me? Or is this coming from the other guy that had this body before? So I think that's interesting. And as we see, I think it was 2 episodes ago, when Hikaru died, he was thinking like, please, keep Yoshiki safe, no matter what. I don't want him to be lonely. So I think it would work if the Yoshiki obsession, infatuation is both, a genuine feeling from current Hikaru, but also something that he inherited from OG Hikaru. And he still loves Hikaru as himself, but some other things like, in regards to dead or alive, that's more so current Hikaru who thinks, who's someone that is very aware, even more so than Achan, that death is not the end. And there's, plenty to still explore and experience even after you die. So for him, like, yeah, it makes complete sense what he'd be like. What's so bad about being dead? I am dead. So that's also why he's like, I don't understand. I thought you were being accepting of me now. Oh, but yeah, it is interesting how Maki and Achan respond to the question of, is it the same guy? And, I think, it's basically both of them reach a yes but no. Whereas for me, it would be like mostly no, but there is a small overlap in between the two guys. Like, even if Hikaru didn't have to act like OG Hikaru for the fear of being caught, like, I still think it would take him quite some time to stop imitating him, because he thinks Yoshiki likes it when he still reminds him of him. I like that shot of Yoshiki when everyone else is talking in the classroom, and he's like about to say something, but then he just smiles. Like, he was still like, like, I'm still so torn up about, what makes a person who they are, Can I really say for certain that this guy is nothing like Hikaru? Because he reassured him when they went to the festival that he wasn't. So here it seems like he's hesitating. But once he joins them, it makes me think like, I don't think he reaches that conclusion, but it's more so like, no point thinking about it too much right now. Let's just enjoy what we have here right now. Even if it's, a bit of a lie. Let's just, just get cozy in this blanket. And if it's not the same one as before. And once again, we get Yoshiki missing Hikaru. Very much so. Once he looks into his bedroom, and he still imagines he's still there. And even says like, oh, it still looks the same as before. But as the lighting shows us, it's definitely not. And he can never go back to those days. And then he finds a note in regards to like the Indo's relation to the ritual and stuff. I'm guessing Hikaru knows, but I mean, he should, right? If he has Hikaru's memories. But yeah, that note has to come back at some point. And we get the flashback of Yoshiki's dad telling him to never go up the mountain. And now he's like, oh yeah, that did happen. I love the fireworks scene. It's so pretty. But it, yeah, it's definitely like a, you better feel happy now because things are about to get real soon. But still, it was nice to see this group of friends just relaxing, being together, and just, you know, enjoying something as you know, just something as I'm trying to say like mundane or small, but maybe for these characters, fireworks is not something like that. Maybe it's a little more special because they don't get to do that so often. Oh yeah, the plushie in the backpack. Like, I'm not sure if it's Maki's or not, because he's the one that wanted the doll, but he gave it to a girl. But I thought that was a girl that we'd never seen before. But that might have been Yu-chan. So I wonder if if Maki likes Yu-chan. There was a, you know, a bit of a awkward air when they were left behind alone. But yeah, oh man, when Achan is right before she says like, "Who are you really?" to Hikaru, I was legit getting anxiety. I was like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." The tension there was so palpable. They did such a good job building it up. I also really liked that we had to see the flashback with Achan and her grandma, so that we know why she has this mentality. Like, yeah, they could have just shown us by the way that she acts, but showing us an event in her past that reinforced the way that she sees supernatural beings. That's just, you know, yeah, you can't assume that their world is bad and ours is good, as Grandma says. It's not black and white, like someone like Tanaka, for example, thinks. You know, just because they're different, they're bad. That's just not, it's not so simple. And there are bad ones and there are good ones and there are, you know, there are complicated ones. But you won't know if you don't give them the chance. So props to Grandma for teaching Achan these things that really make her, to me, a very interesting character. Like, to me already, she's like top 4 easily. And I say top 4 because I think that Tanaka has a lot of potential to be really interesting, but Achan is obviously more likable. Not Yoshiki. Well, too, but in a different way. Hikaru starts freaking out. He's like, oh god, she knows, what do I do? And Yoshiki, the MVP, got there just in time before Hikaru could do anything to her. But he was definitely trying to. And he did say, I didn't mean to, so I guess it was just, you know, instinctual. Or like, you know, he was like in such a stopper? Not a stopper, but you know, like just so indecisive about what to do. He kind of like acted before he could really get a clear head. But yeah, I love how, I don't love, but from a technical standpoint, I love the way that they drew Yoshiki's expressions. You can You can really feel how distraught he is by this. And he's like, yo, look at the zoom in his eye. Like the pupil, like it's almost like he's trying to look away, but he just can't. He just can't. I was thinking like Yusuke needs to know about what Hikaru has been hiding, and he's you know, that his first instinct when he's found out is to kill Song, and he's already done it at least once. So Yoshiki needs to, you know, face this head on instead of trying to act like it's just not happening. So hey, it's progress. And so if they can, if Yoshiki can accept it, and Hikaru can, if they can get it, you know, into a compromise, I would be really happy, you know, some healthy progress in their relationship. But yeah, once Hikaru starts going like, huh? Are dying and living really that different? That's when Yoshiki is like, oh, you know, Hikaru really, there's just some fundamental things that we can't agree on right now. And it's also because Hikaru was being so defensive in the way that he was phrasing things, that it was just making it worse, the way that Yoshiki was thinking about it. So they were both, you know, just acting in the heat of the moment and not really thinking about how the other is seeing the situation. And I would have liked to see Yoshiki, you know, just thinking about it by himself when he got to his house. But I would not have changed the scene when we're seeing Hikaru at the end, reflecting all of this as well. When Yoshiki is like, oh, so were you lying when you told me you didn't want to kill me? And Hikaru's like, no, I wasn't. And we all know he wasn't lying. Out of anyone, Yoshiki would be the only one that he could not bring himself to kill. And yeah, Yoshiki, well, you know, for one, he's like, are you really being truthful right now? Because it's hard to believe with what I'm seeing, you know? Am I really that special to you? But why? And even if I'm special, I don't want you to kill anyone that is not special to you. So it's definitely very difficult for Yoshiki to, yeah, like, of course, to really think about this and see it from Hikaru's perspective. After all, even Hikaru himself doesn't fully understand his own feelings, so yeah. It just kind of makes me think of, like, you know, also Yoshiki kind of having a bit of a, you know, because of his low self-esteem, having a hard time dealing with the fact that he's so special to someone that he really can't see why Hikaru would pick him over anyone else. But yeah, he has a very strong reaction to, even though Hikaru doesn't say anything, like, you know, sometimes just an expression is enough for Yoshiki to understand that, yeah, he did kill old Matsuda. Achan wakes up and she's worried about Hikaru, which is sweet. Although I'm not entirely sure, like, she was like, I bet you will think I'm crazy for saying this. And Yoshiki goes like, I believe you. So I'm not entirely sure, you know, what's Achan's impression of Hikaru when she leaves, since the boys didn't clarify anything. But I'd say she still thinks that it is a ghost possessing Hikaru, which, you know, is not far from the truth, but it's not fully accurate either. But I really appreciate that Achan, she can just tell that Hikaru has been protecting Yoshiki this whole time. And she wanted to talk to the thing inside Hikaru because she thought her voice might reach it. Hikaru going, safe? And Yoshiki just like turning his head away like, ugh, I can't deal with you right now, shut up. But yeah, Achan was just really sweet. I love Hikaru's, you know, just self-reflecting about like, what does he really think that life is? Yeah, dying doesn't mean you disappear from this world. You just take on a different form. And he's really, really attracted and charmed by Yoshiki's soul. And he thinks it would probably look even more beautiful after he dies. So he's kind of like wrestling with the fact that he wants to see how that looks. But he also loves Yoshiki while alive. So I'm very interested how that internal conflict continues on. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this episode. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.